Hey there folks, this is GreenyXI welcoming you right back to Let's Play Higurashi. This is episode 105. In last episode, and chapter as a whole, there we go, Shion finally lost her shit, encaged her sister Mion, killed her granny hag, accidentally, but you know, it happened, and even whipped the dead body's body, a few million times with a torturous whip. Not just a normal one, but one with like fish hooks on the end and stuff. So, let's see how this continues from here on. She said she was gonna go to school and pretend to be Mion and see if Keiichi's okay, to see if the curse is gonna affect her and Keiichi as well. Let's go. I don't know if it's gonna start like that, but that's what she said she was gonna do. I was having such a happy dream. Satoshi-kun was in the dream. He was leading his normal, everyday life. Yay! He was back on the baseball team. Irie and I acted normally around him because we knew that's how mature people should act. We welcomed him back, as if he had been here with us the whole time. Although he hits well in practice sessions, he still doesn't do well in the real game. Come on, Satoshi-kun! 3 strikes already! I'm cheering for you. Then Satoshi-kun pouted as he mumbled. Oomph. Of course he did. I felt tears pouring down my face. Oh. Sniffle. Sniffle. Satoshi-kun. Satoshi-kun. Ow. But it was only a dream. The happy dream faded out with my sobs. The harder I tried to focus on it, the faster it faded. Soon it was all gone. I hate waking up from a happy dream so much, especially when you're woken up, you know. I could see the bright morning sun through a crack in the curtains. Curtains? I saw in Mion's room at the Sonzaki house. Sorry. When did I come back? I was crouching in the corner of the room and crying. A dream is a dream. I wished I hadn't woken up. But one must wake up from a dream. We live in a world where there are no dreams, and that's why we always wake up. But I wasn't sure if I was the only one dreaming that dream, because I felt like Satoshi-kun was right beside me. Satoshi-kun? Did you come back? There was no reply. That was the rule. If it was Satoshi-kun, I wish it'd smile at me just once. But Satoshi-kun's presence faded away, as if he were never there to begin with. I heard the phone ring by the front door. Ah, that's right. I was the only one in the house now. I had to answer it. I got up to walk to the front door. I felt unsteady, so I put my hand on the wall to support myself. I hardly got any sleep. It was like I had a bad cold. The phone continued to ring. I probably didn't have to answer it actually, but I was still half asleep and all I could think of was answering the phone. Hello, Sonzaki residence. Sorry to call you so early. It's Kimiyoshi. Is your grandma still sleeping? It was Uncle Kimiyoshi. She is, yes. I guess she's still tired from yesterday. I think I'll let her sleep in. Yeah, you probably should. Mion-chan, you're going to school, right? Can I leave a message with you? Sure. What is it? Let's see. There will be an emergency meeting regarding the incident from yesterday. It'll be at the Shrine's Assembly Hall, starting at 5 PM. Did you get that? Yes. I'll give her the message. Oh, another call. As soon as I put the phone down, it rang again. Hello, Sonzaki residence. Good morning. Sorry to call you so early. This is Kasai. Is this Mion-san? Good morning. Kasai-san. Good morning. Is Shion-san still there? I wasn't panicked, but I hesitated. I could tell him no, or I could play both Mion and Shion. Shion was washing her face just now. I'll get her for you. I decided to play 2 parts. I went back and forth down the hallway and picked up the phone again, so there are still 2 people, essentially, the 2 sisters, in Hinamizawa. Outside of the cell. I went back and forth down the hallway and picked up the phone again. Kasai? Morning. Good morning, Shion-san. You going to school today? Of course not. I feel miserable. I kinda expected that. By the way, how are you getting back to Kanamaya? I can have someone come pick you up. I think I can get a ride from Uncle Kimiyoshi, or somebody else. Don't worry, I'll figure something out. Your father told me to make sure you go to school often enough. I'd appreciate your cooperation. Yeah, I'll go when I feel like it. By the way, Kasai, did you hear? What about? You know, the incident from last night. Yes, I have. How truly horrifying. All the past victims were war criminals from the dam conflict, right? But it's different this year. What do you think about that? I don't really know. Kasai wasn't the type to talk too much. If it was about something complicated, he usually responded like that. Do you know why those two fell under the curse of Ooishi-sama? No. I heard this last night. Supposedly, they snuck into the ritual storehouse during the festival. They used a metal wire or something to unlock the door. Kasai went silent for a while. I held my breath while waiting to see how he responded. I expected him to say that he couldn't believe those people were chosen as victims just for sneaking into a storehouse. I expected him to say that it was just too unrealistic. I see. That was stupid of them. Well, it was. Since Tomitaki-san was an outsider, I bet he didn't know. I went along with Kasai, but I felt disturbed on the inside. Kasai didn't wonder why breaking into the ritual storehouse would justify their deaths. I'd known Kasai for a long time, which is why I knew there was a heavy meaning to what he said. By the way, Kasai, actually, I did it too. Did you go in? Yeah. Yeah. You went into the ritual storehouse, Shion-san? Yeah. Takano-san invited me. Takano-san, Tomitaki-san, and remember Keiichi who just moved here recently? Him and me, to make 4 of us. I heard Kasai sighing heavily. Even though he didn't say a word, I could tell he was shocked. I'd never known him to act this way before. Shion-san, don't you remember what happened last year? How do you think you can take care of this? Last year it was 3 nails, so maybe 5 this year? Sorry. I wasn't trying to make light of the situation. I know I shouldn't have done it. I regret it at least a little, but is it really that terrible a thing to do? You're related to the Sonzaki main family. Do you really think people would understand? But I've been living in Okunamaya all my life. Since the hag hated me, I've barely been to Hinamazawa. Besides, I was stuck at school. How would I know about any of that? I heard another sigh from Kasai. That sigh told me my excuses would be useless. Shion-san, I'm your ally. I want to support you as much as I can, but there are dangers even I can't protect you from. Besides, Sorry. Sister's here, I've got to go. See ya. Click. I interrupted Kasai and hung up. I didn't want to hear it. I didn't want to hear Kasai reject me, he who had been my ally all my life. Shit. Damn. It. I could hear the sound of the cicadas. The sound made it feel like I was being cooked on a huge frying pan, making a sizzling noise. I couldn't help feeling remorseful. Now I knew that sneaking into the ritual storehouse wasn't a laughing matter. But I really didn't know it at the time. Sure, the door was locked, so they didn't want anyone going in. Then why did they change the lock? What did they say? I think it was that Rika-chama said that the previous lock was too heavy for her, so she had it changed to that cheap one. That was how Takano-san broke in. If the heavy lock was still there, this wouldn't have happened. I slapped my own forehead. Then I took a deep breath. I had to calm down. What was the point of fussing now? I'd already passed the point of no return. There's no use thinking otherwise. The hag was already dead. Even if she wasn't, she was now at the bottom of the well. Therefore I was already past the point where I could just cut my fingers off in apology. I felt so unstable. I'd walked on the fence around the swings at the park before, as if I was walking on a tightrope. It was fun, because even if I fell, it was only a very short distance. But it wouldn't have been fun if I were up really high. At that very moment, I was in fact already on a tightrope that was a lot higher than the fence at the park. As soon as I took a step, the rope behind me would vanish. I couldn't step back, because there was nothing behind me. That's a good little analogy actually, I quite like it. That was in short the current situation I found myself in. Just standing in one spot was all I could do. Even if I never took another step, I'd fall if I wasn't careful. If I forced myself to walk, the danger would only increase. But if I didn't move, I would fall eventually. I couldn't see what was ahead of me. There's no guarantee that I'd ever find firm ground. But if I stopped, there was only one fate waiting for me. I have to move onward. If staying here guaranteed death, then I'd rather try to walk, even if I die as a result. Even if there was a dead end ahead of me, at least I tried my hardest. In general, I tried to be optimistic. I could accept my life not lasting particularly long. But I won't go easily. I'd struggle as much as possible. I'd already killed the hag. For that, there could be no other punishment than death. I knew my life would end soon. In other words, I was actually already dead. A dead person has nothing to lose. That means I can only go on the offensive. I clenched my fists tightly as I muttered, even if I had to die, I couldn't die easily. This was my chance to avenge Satoshi-kun. Who did it? For what purpose? And why? I was going to investigate. I was going to question. I was going to expose. Yes, I was going to settle a score. I'd carry out the plan I came up with yesterday. I could hide the hag's death somehow. All I'd have to say is that she hadn't been feeling well since Higurashi. I could do it all while pretending to be Mion. Just in case her friends at school became suspicious, maybe I'd start telling them I hadn't been feeling well either. In fact, I did feel groggy from my lack of sleep. When I became Mion, Shion would automatically disappear. I'd already told Kasai that I snuck into the shrine storage, so he'd probably end up telling people that I was demoned away, due to the curse of Ooishi-sama. The last person I'd have to think about was the fourth one who snuck into the ritual storehouse, Keiichi. Maybe I can use him as bait to lure out the enemy. Sorry, Kei-chan. You're going to be my bait. I felt a little bad since I was starting to like him. With all that figured out, let's go to school. I'd gone to school as Mion before, so I knew how things worked. It was almost time to leave the house. Oh, Mi-chan, you're late. Ha! Ha! You waited? You should have just gone on ahead. Hey, Mion. Your face is red. You're breathing heavily too. Mi-chan, you're not feeling well. Rena put her hand on my forehead. Rena, your hand's pretty cold. Mi-chan, you're a little bit warm. It's no big deal. Give it half a day and I'll be fit as a fiddle. You really okay? You don't have to push yourself, you know. What's this? Kei-chan, you worried about me? Ah, that's nice of you. I'd always thought he was a goofball, so I was a little surprised. I thought they would tease me, but they didn't. I just think you shouldn't push yourself so hard. We can tell the teacher you had to take the day off. I'm fine. I took some medicine. I think it's already working. Okay, then let's go. Don't overdo it, but of course there's the time. What? We need to run or we won't make it. Ah, this morning got pretty thrilling. Maybe it's just what I need to shake off this sluggishness. Let's run. Leg it. Oops, go start him. President, if you would. Ah! Everybody stand up. At attention. I've made the same mistake before. I never learn, do I? Do you think Mi-chan's doing okay? She doesn't look good. Oh, really? How unfortunate. It's a good idea to make them believe I was sick. Even if I did things differently from Mion, I had an excuse. That's pretty good, actually. Well, you know, girls have those days when they just don't feel well. Yeah, once a month kind of thing. I don't have those days. Nipa. She's not old enough. Mion's friends kept each other occupied and left me alone. Keiichi, you might suddenly disappear one day. I couldn't let that happen. That would be like letting a fish take the bait and swim away while I was fast asleep with a fishing pole in my hands. She changed her mind. I couldn't miss the moment the enemy took a bite out of Keiichi. I had to be very careful. No, she hasn't. She's still using him as bait, but doesn't want him caught. But it was impossible to keep my eyes on him 24 hours a day. Spying on him at school like this wasn't good enough. Should I have him meet with Shion and let her explain that he's in danger? Maybe we could set up a strategy together. I didn't think Keiichi realised how serious a crime it was to step into the ritual storehouse. I hadn't, after all. Since last year, all the incidents that related to the curse had probably been investigated in secret. People involved were the 3 families would know about the incident from last night, but Keiichi shouldn't know anything. If he knew where he stood now, he'd be more cautious too. That should make him aware of his surroundings, and maybe he would notice if anything odd took place. The teacher caught him sleeping, so she ordered him to go wash his face. He walked out into the hallway. I was sleepy too. I had to be alert, but I couldn't clear my mind due to my lack of sleep. I decided to go home early. Since I'd been pretending to be sick since morning, my request was approved. I thought she wanted to be around Keiichi as much as possible now. As I exited the building, I saw Keiichi washing his face. Alright. I thought he'd be out here. It feels better outside, huh? Mion? Yawn. No cutting class now. Looked like it felt refreshing for him to wash his face with cold water. I washed my face too, but it didn't feel as good as it looked. Mion, how's your cold doing? You're sleepy because of the medicine, not from lack of sleep, yeah? Actually, this is a secret, but after the festival yesterday, I got wrapped up in the party my relatives were having. Well, I had a bit. Gulp. Pretended to drink with an invisible glass. I remember this bit from the question arcs. Are you hungover? How old are you? Keiichi exaggerated his reaction, but he still seemed worried. Okay, later. I'm going back. Be careful on your way home. Don't wobble into a sewer or a brook, got it? Keiichi turned round to go back to the classroom. Oh, one more thing, Kei-chan. I stopped Keiichi. He, in response, turned around. What's up? This may sound weird, but don't think too hard about it. Well, depends on what it is. Last night, near the end of the festival, did you see Tomitaki-san or Takano-san anyway? I noticed Keiichi's body tense up. His reaction proved that he felt guilty about sneaking into the ritual storehouse. He was frightened that Mion Sonzaki might know about it. I guess this was enough to give him a certain impression of Mion Sonzaki. You know Tomitaki-san and Takano-san, don't you? You remember, Kei-chan, when the four of you were talking during setup the day before? I could clearly see how dismayed Keiichi felt. He was trying to come up with an excuse. I can't remember. I might have seen them, or not. He was both a bad liar and a bad actor. He wasn't really that intelligent at all. Well, that would make him a suitable friend for Mion. He was just a brat, unlike Satoshi-kun. Oh look, when it came to lying and acting, Satoshi-kun was at about the same level. Maybe Keiichi should be credited for at least trying to tell a lie. Satoshi-kun wouldn't have even said a thing. I didn't need to be thinking about him right now. I see. Then one more question. On the same night, did you see Shion? This was a very mean question. Keiichi was perplexed, as I'd expected. Didn't you ask me that yesterday? I think I told you that I wasn't sure if I had or not. Eh? I'd asked him that yesterday. This is where the two sisters come into play. Shion's confused. He must have meant that Mion Sonzaki asked him that question. In other words, she asked him that after he left the storehouse and got back together with his friends. Damn you, Mion. When I asked her, she said she had no idea we went into the ritual storehouse. Shit. Did you? I guess I just thought I'd get a different answer if I asked you again. Why are you so intent on knowing if I did or not? He was getting defensive. Keiichi couldn't hide his panic as he flared up at me. It's not important. It's just that there are some people who are speaking poorly of Tomitaki-san, Takano-san, Shion, and you, Kei-chan. I didn't really hear what they were saying though. Keiichi was really perplexed now. This wasn't fun at all, but it could still be an interesting game. I don't believe that you were doing something bad. I just wanted to ask a bit about it, so I did. Sorry for making you uncomfortable, okay? I made sure Keiichi felt a sense of crisis, then left. Nobody can tell us apart. We're Mion and Shion, perfect twins. Notebook page 186. That's the whole ploy to this arc. Mion and Shion. Of home. When I returned to the Sonzaki house, I saw a woman with an apron on. It was a housekeeper. Her name was Shimiko-san. I don't think she was in the manga or anime. I can't remember that name. The hag had a few housekeepers who took care of the chores around the house. Ah, Mion-chan, I'm glad to hear. Hey, Shimiko-san, can I help you? Today was her turn to come help out at the house. She'd arrived, but the gate was locked and she couldn't get in. She'd called, but there was no answer, so she had been just standing there, not knowing what to do. Something must have happened to Granny at the festival. She's been in an evil mood ever since last night. Ah, I see. Shimiko-san tried to remember if she had done something wrong. She isn't ignoring you, she's just sleeping. She was up until very late, so I bet you can't wake up yet. She can't wake up yet. You know how she is, right? Once she gets into this mood, it'll take a long time for her to be happy again. Yes, that's too bad. I think it might be better that you don't show up for a while. Even if you don't mean to upset her, Granny might take it the wrong way. Just let me take care of it. I see. Are you sure? I'm very grateful, though. Sorry to make you do this, but could you let the other housekeepers know that they don't need to come for a while either? When Granny feels better, I'll give you a call, so let's just leave her alone for now. Shimiko-san bowed, then left on her bicycle. Anyone who had ever experienced Granny's wrath would understand. Well, that got rid of him. I headed into Mion's room, set her alarm clock for 2 p.m. and crawled into her bed. I needed to recover quickly. I had to be sharp, calm and cool-headed. School should be out by 2 p.m. Maybe I'd get in touch with Keiichi. I'd have to call him. There would also be a staff meeting at the Fudo Shrine Assembly Hall in the evening. All the leaders of the 3 families, the relatives, and the town council members would gather at this meeting. They were all authority figures in Hinamizawa. I'd be attending in place of the hag, who was sick. I'd worry about the rest when I got there. People should have noticed that Mion and the hag were missing for a long time. I didn't need to worry, as I had plenty of time. I checked the alarm once more, then fell asleep as if someone switched me off. Oh, phone call. Hello? Ah, this is Sonzaki. Well, the younger one. Hello. Do you have time to talk right now? Shion? I thought you'd be sleeping in today with a hangover, same as Mion. What? My sis had a hangover? Ah, that's so like her. This is her phone call to Keiichi. Keiichi had no idea that the Mion he saw earlier was actually me. He didn't notice when we talked in person, so there's no way he would notice on the phone. I never knew that playing 2 roles would be so much fun. To feel such enjoyment in this game of life or death. Maybe I was getting used to this situation. Or maybe my senses had gone numb. Whoops, sorry. My parents are waiting for an important call, so I can't talk for too long. What do you need? There's something I wanted to talk about, but if we can't talk long, I guess that's that. Then how about we meet in person? If you could show me where the library is too, that would be great. You mean a public library near the station? Yes, that's fine. I go past there on my way to work anyway. We decided to meet in Akinamaya. It wasn't easy to get there from Hinamizawa, but I had to hurry. I couldn't run into Keiichi as he was heading there himself. I recalled that the key to the hag's motorcycle was in her secret drawer. The hag usually got driven around for public events, but when she had her own errands, she rode her motorcycle. Keiichi, I assumed, was going to ride his bicycle. I tried to get to Akinamaya before he did. Keiichi arrived quite a bit later than me. Motorcycles are faster after all. There were hardly any traffic lights to worry about on the way here either. Wow, Mion never keeps her appointments. I mean, honestly. Haha, making my sister the standard for everything will get you in trouble. You're a little unsteady. You were drinking last night too, weren't you? Don't try to hide it. You definitely went home from school early. Oh, too bad. I've been at home all day from the beginning. I'm smarter than my sis after all. Hey now, I don't think you can call playing hooky smarter. You should finish your errand first. We don't have that much time. We're going to the library, right? Yeah, thanks. My mom had to return some books by today. Is the library far? No, it's right nearby. I meant it when I said we didn't have much time. I had to hurry a little. I was just going to talk to him on the phone, but I ended up coming all the way to Akinamaya. Yeah, because she has to go to that meeting with the 3 families, don't she? After our talk, Keiichi would slowly head back to Hinamizawa on his bicycle. I'd have to rush back there while making sure I didn't run into him. Otherwise, I couldn't make it on time for the meeting. Maybe I could be a little late, but since I needed to hear everything they were going to discuss, I didn't want to be. This was the Shishibone Public Library. It was sizable, filled with a collection of mouldy, smelly books. But they did have air conditioning. It was quiet. It was the perfect place for when you wanted to be alone. After Satoshi-kun disappeared last year, I came here a lot to think about various things. This was where I first met Takano-san. Yep, that's the one. I didn't want to run into her with Keiichi in tow, but then I remembered that she was already dead. Oh well, problem solved. Silver lining. The first floor of the building was occupied by government offices. The library itself was on the 2nd floor, so we had to walk up a huge staircase to get there. I tasted cool air on my skin as soon as I walked through the automated door. Unlike outside, it was very quiet in here. The room temperature was both comfortable and suitable for books. I could smell the scent of old pages. All libraries smell the same. Keiichi walked up to the return table after he said so. Because it was a weekday, there was hardly anyone around. It really was very quiet. I was going to chat about some ordinary things, and then move on to the main subject. After Keiichi returned the books, I invited him into the inner section of the library. Keiichi knew Mion well, but he didn't know me at all. He showed an interest in our life story. This was exactly where Takano-san told me about the true history of Hinamizawa a year ago. I was about to tell Keiichi about things that were very similar to that. Did God have a sense of irony? Now that you mention it, that toy store looked like it was managed by relatives as well. Does that mean they operate Angel Mart too? I told him the reason why the Sonzaki family was so powerful in this area. I assumed that since Keiichi came from the city, there was a good chance he couldn't even begin to understand how one old family could literally control an entire area. Unless I explained to him how powerful the Sonzaki family was, he wouldn't understand what kind of danger was barreling toward him. The family is particularly strong in finance and real estate. Even a lot of members of the Chamber of Commerce and Industry either have the last name Sonzaki or are their relatives. There's Sonzakis in the City Council and the Prefectural Assembly too, since they have the Okinamaya area giving them strong electoral support. Wait a minute. This is all escalating pretty quickly. Your relatives operate shops in downtown Okinamaya, and they're especially strong in finance and real estate. On top of that, a lot of people in the Chamber of Commerce and Industry are relatives, and there are even some elected to local offices. Keiichi counted with his fingers. He was clearly surprised to hear all that about the Sonzaki family. Seemed he was flexible enough to accept even something that sounded outrageous to him. He was starting to understand things, although slowly. The way he viewed Shion Sonzaki was changing little by little too. That should be enough background information. Now he could go on to explain about Mion Sonzaki, the successor. Then I changed the subject like Takano-san did with me. I'd gone to talk about the cursed fire Shiro-sama, and then the series of mysterious deaths. So then, Sonzaki family, it's pretty famous in the area? Yep. Oh, shit. Crazy, isn't it? A fat man with a cigarette suddenly cut into our conversation. Ooishi? Why was he here? Hello. Good afternoon. You on a date today? Ah, what I would give to be young again. If you thought we were on a date, then why are you bothering us, Ooishi-san? What timing? It couldn't be coincidence. I knew this man too well. He was crafty, sly, and clever. His presence here just can't be coincidence. Did he see us somewhere in town and follow us? But why? Did he need something from me, Keiichi, or perhaps the both of us? From what I could guess, I didn't think it was me that he wanted something from. It was almost like he was trying to keep Keiichi away from me. Ooishi was aware I gave false testimony to protect Satoshi-kun last year. Maybe he didn't think he could talk to Keiichi if I was around. Why did Ooishi need to talk to Keiichi? It must be about the incident from yesterday. I'm sure there were plenty of plainclothes officers at the festival, so they had to have seen who was last with the victims. In other words, Keiichi and me. But Ooishi knew I was hard to deal with. That was why he was focusing on Keiichi at present. Why did he have to show up at a time like this? My Bao-san, right? You're one tough guy. Two-timing the Sonzaki sisters, are you? No, I'm not two-timing anyone. Keiichi looked at me, hoping for assistance. He blushed. The way he panicked reminded me of Satoshi-kun. That aside, this wasn't going well. Ooishi might even start talking about my relationship with Satoshi-kun. I didn't want him to, nor did I want Keiichi to have any preconceptions. Ooishi took a quick glance at me. His eyes told me something. He was purposefully talking about the things I'd rather not talk about. He was basically telling me to leave, or he'd continue on to something that was worse than what they were currently talking about. He didn't use words, but his eyes clearly communicated that anyway. Damn that big fat weasel. I'm sorry, Kai-chan. I really do need to get to my job. Huh? Oh, you do? I realised that I wouldn't achieve anything like this, even if I stayed longer, so I used my part-time job as an excuse to leave. Ooishi looked at me and grinned. Damn it. He won today, but I'll win next time. Wait, didn't you have something to talk about today, Shion? Yep, I'll see you later. Oh, I'll give you a call after I'm done. It'll be okay to call at night, right? Yeah, probably okay. I'll talk to you later tonight. Bye. Oh, Ooishi, you shit. But we know all this stuff is coming because we saw it on the question arcs, the cotton drifting arc. Yeah. So there we go, made it to the midway point. I know end things here like usual. This has been Greeny XI. Hope you've enjoyed. Thank you so much for watching. I'll see you again in a bit when we see what Shion's got planned next. In a bit, folks.